Indy Day, Greyhounds. I'm Dr. Brenda Howard with the School of Occupational Therapy, here with some hound how-to tips for you on how to create an ergonomic workstation at home to prevent injury while you are working remotely. First, it's all about the chair. You want to observe the rule of 90. You want to have hips, knees, ankles, and elbows all at 90 degrees as much as possible, and your wrists should be as straight as possible, not at 90 degrees. So look around your house for chairs that work best for you. I happen to have a chair that I bought from IKEA a while back, and you want to be able to have your hips all the way to the back and hips and knees roughly at 90 degrees. If your chair is adjustable, that's great. Now, if you're a little bit vertically challenged, one thing you can do is get a box to put your feet on so that your feet can be flat on the floor and your ankles can also be at 90 degrees. One of the things you can do for your back is to just use a lumbar roll. All you need to do is roll up a towel and use some masking tape, and you can use that to protect your back and keep that curve in your lower back the way that you want that to be. Once you have those things set, you want to try to have your elbows at 90 degrees. So that may involve choosing a table that's at the right height for you. And if you are taller, this is where you may need to get some blocks under your table legs in order to raise your table up a little bit. They sell bed blocks, and you can use those on tables as well to raise your table up to get your arms at about 90 degrees. Next, you want to make sure that your monitor is at an appropriate height. One of the problems that we have with working on a laptop is if we get the height right for the keyboard, then the monitor is too low and we're working with our neck tilted down, which puts a strain on our neck as well as on our eyes. The appropriate height for a monitor is so that you're looking at the place where you look the most on the monitor, which is maybe a third of the way down, at about a 15-degree angle down from your eyes. So you might have to play with it a little bit. For years, my monitor, which I got from Goodwill in a bin for $5, sat on top of a book. Eventually I ended up buying a stand to put my monitor on. So use what you have around home. There's no problem with using books for that. If you don't have a separate monitor, what I would recommend you do is put your laptop up on the books and then get a separate plug-in keyboard. Now, the keyboard that I have is ergonomically designed so that my hands are at a little bit of a tilt, and that provides a more ergonomic position as well. I also purchased an ergonomic mouse, which instead of sitting flat, sits at a little bit of an angle to put my wrist in a more neutral position and protects my wrist that way. Another thing that you can do if a mouse is uncomfortable for you is to get a separate trackpad. Those are available both corded and cordless, and you can use them just like your computer trackpad or your laptop trackpad, and sometimes those can prevent some pain as well. Lastly, with this, I have a gel mouse pad which protects my wrist and helps me keep from getting carpal tunnel because my wrist is not resting on the sharp edge of a table. So once you decide what system is working for you, you have your main monitor sitting in front of you, you might consider investing just a little bit in some pieces that will help your computer be more comfortable to you. Lastly, you want to make sure that you're changing positions frequently and stretching often. I recommend getting up and taking breaks at least 5 minutes per hour in order to prevent cumulative injuries from computer use. I'm finding that it's harder to do that at home than at the office because I have less excuses to get up. So it's important to make sure that you set a timer, or if you have a Fitbit, let your Fitbit remind you to get up. Some of my favorite stretches are what I'm going to show you now. Lastly, you can create a standing workstation with boxes or something on a regular table or countertop. Sometimes I just use my kitchen counter and put a few books so that I'm standing for a while to change the position that I'm working in. Be strong and resilient, stay safe, have a great Indy Day, go Greyhounds!